Peace, peace, Black people. Welcome to Yemima's World, the Jelly Moosa's Cafe. We are our ancestors. I am your hostess, the Jelly Moosa, Yemima. As always, it's good to be Black in the land of the living once again. It's been a few days since I've done an episode. I have been busy. Can't wait to share with you with some things that I've been doing in the last few days. But tonight we are still rolling along with Black August. And I want to combine well, not really combined because all of these things are they moved as a unit. So we're still in Black August, and the last episode I did was I think it was Nat Turner, and then before that I talked about Betty Bookman and Cecile Fatima, who kicked off the Haitian Revolution. And so we are in the days of the beginning of the Haitian Revolution when it began. And so the timeline of it began in 1791. Of course, we talked about it beginning in Boys came in with the ceremony, with the voodoo ritual that they had done to kick off the revolution. And it lasted from 1791 until 1804. That's a long time to be at war for your freedom. It really is a long time. Some of the leaders of the Haitian Revolution, one of the first leaders was Toussaint Louverture. He was definitely a central figure in the Haitian Revolution, the only successful large-scale slave revolt in history. And it led to the establishment of an independent Black republic. Toussaint was born in 1743 in Saint-Domingue, which is now Haiti. He was, of course, born into slavery. He was freed in his 30s, and he became a skilled horseman, a healer. Okay, he was a healer, which meant that he worked with roots and herbs on the plantation. So he was a healer, and he was a plantation manager. Basically, I guess you could say he was an overseer. When enslaved Africans in Saint Domingue rose up in 1791, he quickly became one of their most effective military leaders. He aligned at first with the Spanish, who opposed France, before later siding with the French revolutionaries when they abolished slavery in 1794. See, white people have a knack of pretending to be allies and pretend to hate the same people you hate. Then when the people that you hate and they hate, when they change their mind or look like they're having a better time, they'll, kick you to the curb. And that's basically what the Spanish did. He was a brilliant strategist. He defeated French loyalists, Spanish forces, and British invaders. In 1801, he controlled all of Saint-Domingue and declared himself governor general for life. He wanted Saint-Domingue to remain tied to France, but as a self-governing free colony. And he maintained a plantation system with paid labor to keep the economy strong, meaning it was still called a plantation, except they were working, for their labor, which is like corporate plantation. I still call them plantations. They're just corporate plantations because we are paid a salary, we're paid wages, but it's still a plantation. The downfall of Toussaint became when Napoleon Bonaparte wanted to restore slavery and French control, and he sent troops in 1802. Louverture was captured and deported to France and imprisoned. He died April 7th, 1803, in a cold prison in France. His legacy was that his leadership laid the foundation for Haiti's independence in 1804 under Jean Jacques. Wait a minute, hold on. I'm going to get his name. Hold on. Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Jean-Jacques Dessalines. All right, so Jean-Jacques Dessalines was the founding father of the independence for Haiti. He was remembered for his uncompromising will, military genius, and fierce devotion to freedom. He was the pivotal figure who, following the capture of Toussaint Louverture, decisively led the Haitian Revolution to its ultimate triumph, establishing the first free Black republic in the world. He was born in 1758 on a plantation in the French colony of Saint-Domingue, modern-day Haiti. Now, his early life was marked by the brutalities and the realities of chattel slavery. He endured the harsh conditions and dehumanizing labor. But despite these beginnings, he possessed an innate resilience and a fiery spirit that would define his future. His rise to power came when Toussaint Louverture was captured and sent to France and died. His leadership, the revolution, faced its greatest challenge with Napoleon Bonaparte seeking to reestablish slavery and French control and sent forces to Saint Domingue in 1802 after Toussaint Louverture was captured. Um, Dessalines stepped forward. He assumed the command of the remaining resistance. He rallied the demoralized troops, instilling them in a renewed sense of purpose and an unyielding commitment to total liberation. His military victory, he was brilliant. He was strategic. He was an unyielding force, and he was on full display. His force was on full display during the final phase of the revolution. He effectively employed scorched earth tactics and guerrilla warfare, wearing down the French forces who were also ravaged by yellow fever. The culminating triumph came at the Battle of Verrieres in November of 1803. The decisive victory where Haitian forces bravely stormed a heavily fortified French position, effectively broke the will of Napoleon's army and forced their unconditional surrender. It was a monumental achievement, marking the defeat of one of the world's most formidable military powers by an army of formerly enslaved people. Haiti gained their sovereignty on January 1st, 1804, and they formally declared Haiti free and independent. Now, I don't know if I talked about him. I think I did when I talked about Mackandal. Mackandal was before the Haitian Revolution started. If you recall, I said that Mackandal, when he was executed, told his followers he was coming back as a mosquito. Now, a lot of the French military men died from yellow fever. Where do you get yellow fever from? Mosquitoes. So I'm going to say that, yeah, he probably came back like he said he was, as a mosquito, and took out half of their army, or a great chunk of their army. We really need to study the Haitian Revolution. We need to study the strategics, the strategies that Dessalines and Louverture and Boukman and Fatima had, because we are headed into Jim Crow 2.0. And we really need to know what our ancestors did, how they fought against their oppressors, whether they did it outright hand-to-hand combat, or whether they did it on the low, where they were behind the scenes doing things. You really need to read books on resistance so that we can learn how to do that. That's the real reason why they don't want us to know our history. It's because, not because they don't want us to know how evil they are. We already know that. They don't want you to know how brave and industrious and formidable your ancestors were, and how they fought their way out of slavery. Again, either hand-to-hand combat, or they, use other more subtle tactics. So that's why they don't want you studying Black history. So I urge you to not wait for them to give you permission to do it, but find as many books as you can while they are available to you on the resistance of our ancestors, because if not, our descendants will find their way back into chattel slavery again. All right, so that's it. Salute Jean-Jacques Dessalines and Toussaint Louverture. One more thing. We learned about Napoleon Bonaparte. Everybody learns about Napoleon when you're in school, but I never learned anything about the Haitian Revolution until I got older and started reading on my own. Napoleon Bonaparte was all over the place. I remember I had a friend of mine. She was a white lady, and she was dating a Black guy. And she was taking him to the museum because they had this display of Napoleon Bonaparte. And I asked her, I said, are you going to talk about Toussaint Louverture and Jean-Jacques Dessalines, who defeated Napoleon Bonaparte's little short ass? But I got no response from that. But I digress. So, you know the drill. Love yourself, love each other. Give yourself some grace, give each other some grace. Honor your ancestors. They will honor you. I'm a living testimony to that. Until next time, remember, we are our ancestors. Peace, family.